Ready to do this?
Yes.
Good morning, fellas.
Morning.
Welcome to the new show. We are kicking off a new year with a new format, new ideas, and it's really fun to have you guys here on the first one, especially Gage. Gage has been, I've known Gage since he was a wee lad and has become a big part of this team and other things. And we're going to talk a little bit about the business, but I want to talk a little bit about 2024. 2024 was a wild one.
It was, I hit my lowest low in 2024, right? But I also
Started off right.
Yes, and then I also reached the highest high that I felt in a long time, and then carried me on the journey I'm on now.
Yeah. Isn't it wild how long a year is? We always see how fast it goes, but you look back and you go, holy.
Yes. I didn't remember what I did yesterday.
Right.
I'm like,
but then you go, man, it seemed like, it was so long ago,
Yeah.
but it really flies by in real time. It's just like a real weird perspective of how our time works. You talk about being low lows and high highs. You don't have to get into the lows, but the high's been pretty high for you professionally.
Yeah, absolutely. It has the growth, the perspective change, and then just the amount that has changed. And like you said, in a year, rewind a year ago, beginning of 2024, I was 2,000 miles away, no friends around me, no family around me, right? Very isolated. Not that I don't love my little group of Sam and my little boy, but even last Christmas, not last Christmas, the one before, it was just us, right? I had to go thrift gifts. Very hard for me to even go out and go buy like a $5 gift. Like that was pretty much breaking the bank. Everything maxed out, trying to figure out ways to get through. And then this last Christmas, being around family was the biggest thing. My grandma came over, right? My in-laws were over there. My sister was over there, my nieces. And aside from the other gifts, it was the family part. Mm-hmm. That was the biggest impact.
Most important.
All those corny shows and all the things that all the old folk told you when you were young about what really matters. But then when you experience it, you realize that really is what matters. Yeah. I always tell the story. I was in the best shape of my life, making the most money, and I was the most miserable when I was getting divorced. And so that really warped my perspective of not warped, probably corrected my perspective of what was actually important.
Yeah.
And it's good for you to learn that as a young man instead of learning as an old man like I did.
And then the key word is perspective, right? Like you can sulk in it and you can sit in it and you can bathe in it, or you can change the perspective and then figure something out. Figure out what you need to do. And that was a big shift.
And I will tell you, when you came back, you dove right in. You had a great attitude. One of the things that I admired was didn't ask for anything, just opportunity, dove right in, and then within what time did you come back?
I came back in March, first month, and then moved up in July.
Yeah. So from zero to back to now running and desk and deals, running BDC, got a team under you.
Yeah. That's
a hell of a turnaround, man.
It feels good to just finally, for the first time, when I came back in March, I didn't have a choice to fail, right? This was it. It was this or, man, I don't even know.
Go be a male model.
Yeah. I can't go back to Chippendales, please.
He's thought
I
about
don't want to diet anymore. Don't make me diet.
It's easy money.
But thank God, you guys gave me the chance to come back again, and I dove in. And again, it's going back to perspective. I had a perspective that I was going to make it work. I showed up. I did the right things. I listened to the right people. You were a huge help. Bancroft was a huge help. John, and I just absorbed as much as I can from you guys.
Yep.
And then being able to go home and feel okay, be around my boy, again, around the family. Like, spiritually, I felt good. Monetarily was better. And then now, after so long, having breathing room.
Whole different mindset.
Yes, man.
Did you get to go?
You can breathe again,
yes, dude, yes. And it felt good.
And it's always fun because I feel like the start of a new year, although I'm not one for all the what I call corny New Year's stuff, it is a good reset and it is a good restart. And we were talking a little bit earlier about how long the year is. We had talked about what a crazy year 2024 was. Did you get that list of the top?
We have a list of different
Top
stuff. We have
news
political
stories?
stuff. We have news stories.
What's the top five? What's the world say the top five? Because I'll tell you, I got a little list of my own of what I think the top was, but I'd be real curious what the world thinks the top 5 stories of 2024 were.
Well, let's check and see what they say. You guys can keep talking. I'll check this out.
Well, while we're checking that out, I also want to get into what I think Findlay's top stories of 2024 were. So I want to see what the world thinks first, but we had a wild 2024 just in our own walls.
Yes. So coming back, so I came back in March. So I was a little bit late to the party, but Bancroft taking over, right? I don't know if we're supposed to touch on it. Russia? I don't know. I might be pointing fingers.
So just to go, listen, Russia interfered in our business.
I might be pointing fingers.
Yeah.
If it had to be anybody.
I'm guessing it was Vladimir somewhere in there. That seems to be a safe bet. But I 100% made a list, and that is on our list. Was that July?
Yes.
Yeah. So July was wild because let me just wind it back a couple more years. I never thought in a million years that our business would be shut down for a virus. Mm-mm. And then fast forward a couple years, and we had Russian hackers.
So, and you know what's crazy? I was on the floor, so the foot traffic didn't stop. And it was the most awkward thing trying to bypass me, like, so we can't do anything. Yeah. And people would like legitimately get upset with us, like, no, like I'm here to buy this car.
Maybe we should try that reverse psychology more often. Just stand up there and refuse to help people.
Hey man, I don't really want to sell.
Yeah, nothing's for sale right now. Sorry guys, sell me that truck.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, that was wild. Did you come up with a list there, Arganda?
Well, the biggest thing, of course, is they reelected Trump. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably number one in our world. What was the countdown? You figure we got a world with, you got wars breaking out all over.
We have the Ukraine war that broke out. Got worse, actually. It didn't break out. It got
Middle
worse.
East.
Middle East that's
Remember the
involved.
Microsoft issue that took all the flights that had to get to land?
Oh, yeah, the travel.
Yeah, and so I would actually say one of the top stories probably is hacking, which did affect us. You know, we were part of a larger hack, and there was a even larger one after the initial where they attacked all of CDK, Microsoft, and, you know, like I said, talk about affected flights, affected all aspects of business, and we realized how dependent we are on so much technology. I'll tell you I got 2 things written down here that are probably tied in my conspiracy brain, but AI. I think AI is one of the top stories of 2024. Yep. It existed in smaller forms, and then it was like 2024 came out and just exploded.
Yeah.
Yep. It's in everything we do, every ad you see, like every conversation is tied in with AI. So I think that's one of the craziest things that's really emerged. And now you're a little younger than us, but this is all like sci-fi movie stuff for me.
So I've worked with like a lot of business owners, and I always pick their brain, the ones that are working because like software is huge now, right? Like a lot of people that make a lot of money are in software, and you go ask them, you're like, hey, well, I like to ask them, I'm like, do you guys use AI? Because AI is so up and coming, and almost every large business uses AI somehow, some way. Yep. And the coolest thing that I learned was AI will only make a mistake once, right? So it's kind of human.
Just like us.
We hope, right? So it's kind of human on how it can make mistakes. But once it makes a mistake, it is then programmed to never make it again, right? And I just think that's the neatest thing, that it can then develop its own programming to prevent that from happening again.
Yeah.
And that's mind-blowing.
It's like its own brain.
Yeah, it runs its own thing, yeah. And AI is nuts. AI is nuts.
Computer stuff, man.
You know, my other world, what I think is one of the top things, other than obviously the world politics, all that other stuff, UFOs.
Yeah, I
You
knew
call
that
it
was coming.
UAPs, UFOs, drones, funny lights, whatever it is more prevalent than ever.
Well, Gage is a big believer.
I was going to say, I was not a believer. I thought it was phony. I was like, nah, man.
Until this.
So I was sitting out back the other day, and I was looking at the moon, because from where we're at, we have a beautiful view, thank God. And I was looking at the moon, looking above it, a little speck in the sky. But it was moving. I thought at first it was a satellite, but the way it was moving was not. Like it would
Placement
bounce.
moves.
Yes, very interestingly, float almost through the sky. And I broke out the, what do you call it, telescope?
Telescope?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was like a transformer. I don't know what noise that was.
Transformer telescope.
So I broke it out, and sure enough, I showed the pictures. UAP. I'm a full believer now. I want to.
And
see
you got a
one.
picture of it.
It's
to
not a
prove
big
it.
deal.
Yes.
It's probably launching from the dark side of the moon base, which we all know is there.
Pink Floyd. Great movie. Or great.
Argando, you ever seen a something you can't explain in the sky?
I've seen a lot of things, but the weirdest one was the UFO was seen in Bullhead City flying by the airport, ended up down in Needles and crashed. I know you guys heard that story about that UFO.
I
that
have not
crashed.
heard that story.
There
You're
is a
Topak, right?
Topak.
Yeah.
It crashed in Topak. And just
Jeff,
like,
you've been holding this story out of me all these years.
well, I didn't know that you were so into the UFOs. I didn't know.
That's literally all I talk about half the day.
All the press is saying it was
But
a train
anyways-
derailment. That's how they covered up the story. They said it was a train
Right, and they had the
derailment.
same
No,
thing.
it's
a while ago.
The helicopters came in, they craned all the pieces out, they got away, and everything was cleaned up like nothing happened.
Yeah.
We got to find some people who have some first or secondhand UFO experiences and get them out here.
My neighbor said they saw
Listen,
the actual helicopter when it was
You
coming
got to
in.
vet them a little bit.
And then a black,
If you get me trapped
Listen.
on camera with a crazy person,
a black van had pulled up to their house and told them that they saw nothing, and they drove off.
I feel like we could track down a lot of this just by finding the black vans. Where
The
else do you
black
ever
vans,
see
yeah.
a black van when it's not related
Just
to a
chase
UFO
it.
story?
I like to do that to people, just randomly. Old people, I'll drive by them. You saw nothing to drive away. Just go around confusing people.
Yeah. So the craziest thing to me is a lot of the stuff that we have been told for years is not true, is now like discussed in Congress, verified by government and military, and they claim to not know what it is either. But just 10 years ago, they completely denied it all. And what's really interesting is that nobody seems to care.
I was just about to say, it's crazy how fast it goes by the wayside.
Yeah,
it
they're like,
comes out.
oh, we got UFOs now? Anyway.
My rent's
Yeah,
still
what
due,
happened?
right?
Oh.
Still
Yeah,
gonna,
it's okay.
still
Rent's
gotta pay
still
my
due,
car.
right? Yeah. So with that being said, I want to talk about the crazy year Findlay had. Findlay Motor Company specifically. We had a very eventful 2024. And I don't know if you guys had anything that jumped off the top of your head, but I want to bounce some topics off you and get some feedback. Now, when you worked with us initially, we were a Chevy, Buick, GMC dealer. And one day they just said, hey, no more Buick, guys. I never thought I'd see the day where they pulled a brand. We didn't want to lose it. We sold a ton of Buicks.
Yeah.
Right? So I think it's smart, and I believe why we went away from it is, correct me if I'm wrong, because they're going mostly or all electric by 2025.
Buick
And I
is,
think
yeah.
it's smart and goes to show how much Findlay cares that our town is not set up for electric, right? So rather than sell what the public doesn't need, because sure, could we sell them and make money? Probably. But rather than that, Bancroft and you guys, we took into consideration what the people actually need around us and said, hey, we don't want to sell something that's not really going to be fit for our public and what our customer base needs.
And I think electric vehicles probably a story in itself. I think we all see these electric vehicles are amazing, but people are very hesitant about it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if you have any firsthand experience with electric vehicles. I drove a couple in some videos or in parades, and they're pretty badass.
Yeah, I like them a lot. I think it's the future. I mean,
They're sleek, they look good, and they're torquey.
yes.
Yeah.
It's right there.
People wouldn't expect it unless you watch YouTube racing on the internet.
Or if you
but
drive one.
And you can play games and watch Netflix
That's
in
true.
most of them.
Well,
Some of them.
Yeah.
And Siri makes fart noises for you in the EVs.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
maybe that's a whole nother video we need to make. But so I was really, I was really surprised and was curious how that would affect us. And lo and behold, we weathered the storm, figured it all out, and really the advent of some really, really high quality, affordable vehicles, specifically the Trax, filled in a lot of that void for where we sold a lot of those less expensive Buicks.
Yep.
So that Trax has been a really good car for us, but I didn't know how it was going to work at first. With Buick going away. So the other thing that I thought was crazy that we never thought would happen after years and years and years, we finally opened that new shop.
Oh yeah, that's been in talks. Yeah.
What was on the other side of that lot for years and years and years?
Good old
A
dirt.
dirt lot.
Yep.
That's where we all
Lot,
hid
man.
and parked so we could be closer to the store so we didn't have to use the employee parking.
Yep.
That's right,
Good
yeah.
times. Good times. Take a lot of naps there.
Yeah, and it's really
Okay.
opened up a lot of our service business. It freed up a lot of things. I think that we have had huge growth in service, and the only thing that really slowed that down was probably my next topic, which is we got hacked.
Ugh. That's
I know
the
we touched
worst.
on it a little bit, but we literally had someone hack our whole auto group and
Shut us
try to hold
down.
us ransom. I don't know if that's way over our pay
Pay grade
scale.
of what they got paid.
Whatever they decided to do, but my guess is that they did not pay because they shut everything down and opened all new systems, and we were closed for about a month, and it was a pretty freaky time.
It was weird, yeah.
Came
Yeah.
and wiped the computers. I remember IT came down. We were sitting over there. But they handled it, for what I think, really well.
Yeah.
I think the promptness of it was good for what it was.
And it wasn't just our Findlay, it was every Findlay.
So it wasn't even. It initially, obviously, we only knew what affected us, but
Right.
it ended up affecting nationwide anyone who used any of these shared systems.
Well, yeah.
So
CDK was down
everything
and
CDK, Microsoft, a lot of other things, and I'll tell you. There are a few moments, including during COVID, where you really appreciate where you work because how they treat you in moments of crisis or adversity. And we basically couldn't do business for the better part of a month, and they still paid us.
That was unbelievable. I couldn't
We
believe that.
sold nothing, and they still
I
paid
wasn't
us.
expecting
Yeah.
that. Most companies probably wouldn't pay their
So,
employees. but-
shout out to the powers that be. I can only imagine what that payroll dent was with no money coming in. But really a testament to the Findlay boys and taking care of us. It wasn't in our control either, but they could have very easily justified, hey, we're shutting it down, we're laying you off, and we'll figure it out. And they really stepped up, did a great
They
job.
made sure everybody stayed. That's
I
what
had
they
wi-
did.
it was widespread news too. I had old coworkers and old managers from North Carolina
Yeah.
texting me like, "Hey, you guys are actually shut down." I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah.
They were then shut down shortly after.
Yeah. Yep.
So it was a pretty wild deal. Didn't really know what to make of it. And I never thought I'd see the day where we were literally just crippled. So back in my day, we still hand wrote contracts occasionally. Not necessarily hand wrote, but you typed them up, signed them, whatever.
More
And
paperwork.
All of our systems are internet based now, and
Yeah.
so
No
it's
paperwork.
kind of an eye opener.
Yeah.
Of
To
how it used to be.
right,
Yeah.
and now you talk about where most of our business comes from. Now you're running the internet world. That is the lifeblood of this business right now.
Yep. We wanted to get there, and we are noticing a more influx customers. And it is a really good thing. Like, I'm a consumer myself. I don't just sell cars; I buy them too. So when you're able to go online and shop and find the best deal, and the fact that we're getting so many leads goes to show what a good job marketing does, and how well you guys do, and how competitive we are.
Yeah, it
So
makes
it's really
a huge
cool seeing
difference
that.
when you have more opportunity, and then it gives which leads into probably my number one. But we're going to hold off on that because the other crazy part was Tony left us.
General manager.
And we went from, having one GM for many, many years to 5 and 4 years, 3 years. And we got ourselves, not that we don't appreciate the Vegas boys, but we got us a homegrown one. So we got Mr. Bancroft ascended up from the used car manager up to a general sales manager, associate general manager, and is now the general manager of Findlay Motor Company. So
That's awesome.
that was, I think we all kind of went,
So I never met Tony. I heard that he was great. Obviously, I was gone on my own venture when he came over. But one thing that I can say came out well was name tags. You have to wear them now from Tony. So I have about 3 or 4. Got it on, Tony.
Yeah,
Don't
I got
worry,
mine.
man. But I heard he was a great guy. But obviously, coming back and having Bancroft in that role has been awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I've always looked up to Bancroft, a huge mentor, and the fact that he runs it and seeing that progress. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And Bancroft had a luxury that not a lot of people have had in that he was an AGM for several years. So he learned a lot of those moving parts, a lot of those business things. You don't really learn until it's firsthand as a general manager. He actually got a kind of a world-class education in, and he got it from a couple different sources. He had a couple different guys above him to learn and mentor him. And probably going to pay dividends as we go through if we could ever get through a year without getting hacked. So,
I was going to say, so then you look at
We
the
gotta make it.
2024, right? He gets in there, and then we talk about how crazy 2024 was, and his resilience through all that change was also incredible to see.
yeah, I can only imagine, man, I'm finally getting my opportunity. I'm going to run the show,
Yep.
get a month or two in, and then
Boom. Yep.
Pump the brakes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the fact that how he handled it was great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think he's been pretty clear on the message, wants to grow our business, wants to grow our people, and see where this world takes us. And
Wants
I
us
think-
to be great.
Yeah,
Vision,
that's that's one of the key things is that you have a clear vision that people can follow, and I think he's conveyed that message pretty well.
Yeah, he has.
And like I said, we will always have obstacles, but when you've got your why, you can always kind of sort it out. You know what I mean? So, and then I think the number one is, despite all of that craziness, we had year-over-year growth.
Yep.
Which I think is a testament to, I will say, not only Bancroft, but guys like yourself, Argonda, Eric, John, Adam, I mean,
The list goes on.
Chris G, like, you talk about individual employee growth, we got guys who have gone from new guys to top guys in, a matter of months. Yeah. And so I think that that's a real testament to the way we do things, the way we build and layer our teams. And, I'll give you some kudos that I think you're kind of leading the charge there. You go from way back to Gage to young professional coming back and then really earning. And I think that's something that's kind of lost on people too, is earned opportunity. In the car business, we always say you're given opportunity. Nothing is easy. Selling cars is not easy. This business is not easy, but it's an opportunity for you to kind of write your own story. Yeah. And you've done a great job of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He even looks sophisticated now with the glasses. And
it's exactly that.
I'm going to borrow them glasses, see if I can look sophisticated.
Yeah, you might.
I don't technically need them right now. They're not prescriptions. They were recommended by Google. So,
yeah.
But we go to...
Well, you stare at screens all day. You should probably protect your eyeballs.
I know. I started getting headaches too, man. I was like, this is not good.
It does.
But we go to the earning, right? And it's cool. It wasn't easy. 120, 130 hours every 2 weeks. Being the first one in, the last one out. It was fun. It was exciting. I lost a lot of home time, but then getting able to move into this and going from a producer to helping people grow. Me and you talk about it all the time because obviously you helped mold and shape and progress individuals much like myself, and now being able to do it myself and see the growth in people, that is more rewarding 10 times over than anything I've ever done before.
I got to tell you selfishly, you and Adam are some of my proudest car business achievements.
Yeah. Adam, workhorse. Great guy.
He's a stud.
Yep.
Red hair.
It's red hair. We're going to have to get him on the show one of these days.
Oh, for sure.
And talk to him because one of the things that I am always, despite being a grumpy old man, I really do like people. And, you have very strong ties to family, kid, your motive. And I am always fascinated with what drives people, and Adam is very much the same. Very, very strong family drive, and I'd like to get him an opportunity to come out and kind of tell his story because he's got a unique story himself. So we'll have to make an effort to get Adam out here one day and tell us the Adam
Get him on
Hurley
the
story.
podcast.
Yeah, I've known him since high school too. So we always talk, and we've been going to the gym together in the mornings now. So we always have that childish side to us still. And then we're
Then
at
you
work.
get to work and
Yeah, and then
turns
we're two completely
professional.
different people. I'm just like, look at us, man. Just a bunch of guys that ended up working out. Thank goodness. It was good in two different ways.
As a bit of a meathead, I really think it's important. It's an important aspect of everyone's life, but especially young men, that they still take care of their bodies. They make that time to go and have that morning to get their mind right, take care of themselves physically, and I believe it pays dividends throughout the day, throughout your life.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I will tell you, I did the opposite in my 20s. All I did was work. And I'll tell you guys the stories of, we get there in the morning, we go get some Carl's Jr. for breakfast, we'd sit at our desk, we get some Carl's Jr. for dinner, we go home, go to sleep, wake up, do it again, and 80, 90 pounds later.
I was going to say, breathing gets a little bit harder every day.
Yeah, all of a sudden you look up, you've been doing it for 5-6 years, and you're 80, 90 pounds heavier, and you wonder where your life went. And
They can get away from you quick.
It's a passion that I've liked to do for a long time. I got lost in it, but then going back to my why, which is my boy, being able to set a discipline for myself. I don't want to wake up at 4:30 every morning. I hate it when that alarm goes off, right?
That's
I
why
don't
I
want to get out of
snooze
bed,
it.
right? So I end up snoozing once or twice, and then I'm up. But I'm able to do that because I want him to see a hardworking, driven, disciplined father that does the necessary stuff that may not be fun and may not be comfortable, but it at least sets a foundation for him to follow.
That's great.
I cannot correct him or tell him what to do if I haven't done it.
That's
I
right.
cannot tell him to be disciplined and wake up early if I'm not doing it myself, right?
And he sees you doing it, so he'll understand as he gets older.
Yes, and if I do it now, by the time he is a sponge, and he already is kind of sponging, like
You have no idea how much your kid is a sponge.
it's awesome.
They pick up things that you don't realize.
Yep.
And especially like when they're very young, you just go, how the hell did they learn that
Yeah.
already?
Yep,
And they watch and mimic,
Smart.
and they pick up on everything you do.
it is.
It's amazing.
So I used to think that Sam lied about me snoring at night, but sure enough, the other night I was laying with Hendrix and he was in the bed, and then he started fake snoring, and I was like, well, by God, she might be right.
Yeah.
Where else did he get that from?
Yeah. Listen, deny, deny, deny.
Right? It's those little things though that give you a why, give you a drive, give you passion, and that's my little why right there.
Yeah. So I want to ask you guys. Obviously, we talked about looking backwards, 2024. But I think we all know that we want to learn from 2024. We want to appreciate 2024. But really, we're looking forward. We're looking to the future. Arganda, what's your 2025 look like?
I mean, I'm gonna be great. I don't want to be good. I want to be great. We went over that in the meeting, and I thought about it a lot. And I'm thinking, a lot of times we do settle to be good, you know. But do we settle to be great? Not everyone does. And I think that's focused a little bit more on being great this year.
You know, and that even includes what we're doing right now, jumping out of what we had always done.
Yeah, our norm.
Taking on some new, we'll probably have some learning curves and
Oh,
some
for
bumps
sure.
along the way. But, just this show and a lot of the content you've been producing, and that has kind of put you in a position to try to be great,
Yeah, and
if you're always doing the same thing. What was great 10 years ago? Probably
Not
not
so
great
much
anymore,
anymore.
right? So the world's
true.
always changing. Expectations are changing. And I know you're always a vision, plan, goals guy. What's on the agenda for 2025 Gage?
He's gonna be great too.
Other than
Yeah.
be jacked.
So I don't know. A lot of people may not like my answer, man. Last year was a very high intense. I pushed myself to get to where I'm at. Like I said, I'm able to finally take a breath, and I think this year is going to be slow down, pay attention to the small details, fine tune the little things, right? Because we get so focused on these big details, all these big things that everybody wants to work on, but you don't understand the small details that will actually make that big picture more feasible and get you there faster. But understanding I have more time, right? The man who enjoys the journey more than the destination will walk further. And that's what I want to do. I want to enjoy where I'm at. Be grateful for what I have. Be grateful for what I'm building, and keep on going for more. That is my goal.
And you think people won't like that?
I think that people always want you to be boom, 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 and I'm going to be cautious and
Slow
careful.
and steady.
Slow and steady.
That's what you're gonna be.
Yeah, I think it is really hard to kind of appease everyone. But I tell you, one of the things that I think is imperative and is being authentic. Obviously we all have to kind of live through a professional filter at some level, or a general filter at some level to kind of get through the world. But if you're trying to be somebody you're not, it's not going to work. You're not going to be happy, and you're probably not going to be successful. And so I think one of the most important things that you can do is try to be authentic. And I think that's something that both of you guys do pretty well. And I hope that you can stick to that and still maintain your goals and get all the success you want. So I'll tell you, I'm very, I'll tell you, I'm going through a weird transition in life.
Happens at your age. It's okay.
It does. Right.
That's
Listen, I'll
okay.
tell you, at every age of life, you think it's unique to you, but it's not.
No.
My son's 18.
He's going through a transition too.
I made a commitment many years ago to refocus where I spent my time with my kids, and has cost me a lot of things in other aspects of my life. But now that my son is 18, he's getting ready to head to college somewhere, but it's not here. He's going to be gone. And that's a tough life change to deal with. And so I kind of been spending some time thinking about what that looks like for me. And, me and my baby girl, who's 12, spend a lot of time together, but it's not the same as the amount of time I spent with my son football, young man, going and doing, a lot of boy
Teaching him how
stuff.
to be a young
yeah.
man.
Yeah,
It's different.
and so my whole thing is kind of getting back to whatever this next chapter is for me, whether it be professional, being more of a girl dad than a bro dad, and I'm not sure what it looks like yet. I've been so focused on trying to figure out where my son's going to be and how to get him there, and he wants to play football. And so you're essentially going out and you're meeting all these people that you're handing your 18 years of work in and handing them over to somebody else and make sure it's a good place for them. And
It's a big move.
It's stressful.
Yeah.
That's
understandable.
It happens fast, buddy. Let me tell you.
I'll tell you, that pumped me up. That was
for
like
sure.
just the amount of time, and you are now seeing everything that you had put in the time, and then everything come to fruition.
Yeah.
Like, that is awesome. And if you guys don't know, Ben is incredible. Like, the guy is awesome. Like,
He is a good kid.
He's a stand-up man. He's a hard worker. He's in the gym, and then he's
Great
also
football
doing football.
player.
Great football player.
Yeah.
And that says a lot about you as a dad too. Like, I look up to you a lot in that.
There are a lot of different paths to a good life, and hearing things like that give you no regrets about spending that time with my kid and investing that time with my kid. And I'm very proud of him. You go and you meet, obviously these coaches, they tell you what you want to hear, kind of.
Yeah.
But I can tell you from my own experience, he's on his way. He's doing it right, and makes me very proud. So,
I'm excited.
yeah.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too, man. I can't wait to dive into all these new horizons. We are growing our business. We are, I'm a big fan of podcasts, social media, all this stuff, because it's a great way to communicate with people. And I am really excited to have more conversations with our people, our community, our team, and get them in here and give them an opportunity to express themselves like you did today. And I will tell you, we'll wrap this thing up, but I'm very proud, very excited of where we're going. And I can't wait to see what it looks like when we do this again in a year and say, holy cow, we did it.
Look where we started
Right.
and look where we're at now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, something like that.
Fellas, it's an absolute pleasure. I'm really excited. This will be our inaugural show. We started with the Jansen Experience,
That's right.
which was, with all due respect, borderline dumpster fire.
No offense.
But that's what, you look at
Jansen.
Yeah,
No
you look
offense,
at where you
Jansen.
start and look at where you go.
Right.
And then obviously when Christy was here, and Christy left us this year, she's off doing her own big things. And I look forward to whatever this next phase is. When you're
Me
old
too.
enough to have seen phases come and go, you're not as concerned about the change. You're just concerned about making it work. So
And it will
Making
work out.
it great.
It'll work out.
make it
will
great,
work
man.
out.
Make it great.
Yep, fellas. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Let's get to work.
All right, let's go back
make
to
it
the
happen.
guys.
Let's get it.